Hey everybody, TJ here. Welcome to another episode of Me Time. Thanks for coming. And we're going to catch up a little bit on what's going on with my content. Me Be Me, Smash Supremacy, and of course, Custom Conquest. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Switch. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Some Breath of the Wild, some Fire Emblem, and then we're going to talk about your and my dream game. But before we get too far into any of this, let's cross our T's and dot our J's.
The views and opinions expressed here are ours alone and do not necessarily reflect those of this channel or its affiliates.
And we reserve the right to alter them at any time if it's convenient or because we feel like it. So, take this.
Me Be Me Season 2 is wrapped. We completed the final episode a little ways back, and I'm not going to reveal the results because some of you may not have seen it, and I would like to not spoil that experience for you. And I'm also going to be releasing the full season in a feature format, similar to like what I did with Season 1. That way, if you haven't seen any of it, you can just kind of binge watch your way through the whole thing, and you don't have to deal with the intro and the ending tags each time, so you'll be able to get through it a lot faster. So thanks to everybody who watched that, especially thanks to my Patreons, my patrons, because you really helped make that possible for me to stay active and stay accountable and get those videos out. In addition to the support, and it's hard to be able to really dedicate yourself to making content that is at that level of production and requires that kind of time without a little bit of help from the community, and so thank you guys. Smash Supremacy. It's the first show that I ever started that featured Amiibo. I was so excited about it when I first started, and I was releasing about an episode a week, and then it really slowed down dramatically, not because I lost any of the excitement, but because I lost access to Amiibo, and I finally decided I couldn't wait anymore, and I had to skip the last couple episodes of the first round so I can get into round 2. I've got 3 more episodes of that I'm really close to being able to deliver. I'm still excited about it, but I'm starting to think that I'm the only one. The show should be over by now, but who knows what's going on with those last 3 Amiibo. At this point, the show is not even going to be over before Smash for Switch is announced, so I'm hoping that Nintendo just gives me those last 3 Amiibo so that I can finish it. At this point, I'm finishing it for myself. I doubt that there's really too many people out there who really care anymore. Custom Conquest, that is something that I've been the most active with. Even though I have not been delivering episodes, I have been stockpiling custom Amiibo that I fully intend to feature in episodes. So I've got all the footage, and each one represents maybe about 40 hours of footage of the process that I need to pare down into a more digestible form, and then I'll get those episodes out. So the next thing you're going to see from me is another Custom Conquest episode, and then it'll probably be rotating with some Smash Supremacy until I get as far as I can go with that. Now, that we've got the updates out of the way, I want to talk a little bit about the Switch. You may have heard me as a guest for the Nintendo Wire newscast. We talked a lot about the Switch after the presentation, and my feelings about it haven't really changed a whole lot. I'm definitely going to buy it. There's no way I'm not going to buy it, but I have not pre-ordered it, and I'm not going to buy it at launch. My final farewell to the Wii U is going to be Breath of the Wild. Ooh, I said it right. That's the first time. And I think a lot of it has to do with that amazing Zelda trailer. It's the first time that I've felt the wild in that title, and it's made it a little bit easier to stick. When I was at E3, and I played the game when they first allowed you to do it, and I have to say, I was really dejected and really disappointed for a few reasons. One, that it was so dead, and in a game called Breath of the Wild, there was no wild. I ran around for the vast majority of my 20-minute demo not even able to find another living thing. It was more like a tech demo to me, where it allowed me to figure out how Link moved and what Link can do and what he could interact with and what he can climb on. And because the Nintendo rep who was helping me said, oh, you can climb on anything, the first object I tried to climb happened to have been an object I couldn't climb. So that kind of annoyed me. And then probably what made it the worst is I'd been playing a lot of Hyrule Warriors Legends, and in Hyrule Warriors, you sprint pretty much the whole time, and you have an inexhaustible amount of stamina. And so you could traverse these very long maps very quickly. And in Breath of the Wild, your stamina, at least at the start of the game, is so brief that you're like panting and moving slow within 2 seconds, and everything is so far away, and you want to get to places and you want to explore, that I was bored. And it might be the first time I've ever been bored playing a Zelda game. And I was starting to think, the thought really did cross my mind, maybe I have finally outgrown Zelda. Or maybe Zelda has finally shown me everything that it has to offer, and this title might not be for me. After the Switch presentation trailer, I'm very happy to say I've done a complete 180. The experience of playing the game was quite dull. And you know, I'm gonna give you one more complaint. I don't know if this is something that they've even changed. The game's buttons are mapped incorrectly. And I say this because when you have two buttons that need to be used in conjunction with one another, like in Super Mario Brothers, Mario can jump farther if you're holding the run button. So you want to be able to have the run button depressed at the same time as you press the jump button. Well, the way that the buttons were mapped, at least at the demo, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because my game is black and I can't see it, but your sprint button was right here. That's the B button. And then your jump button, and your jump is enhanced if you're sprinting, is the X button. So in order for you to be able to go from sprinting to jumping, your buttons need to pass over both of these other two buttons. Not only is that a stretch for some hands, but you also run the risk of depressing two of the other buttons. And when you're trying to do precision controls and jump around and do all this crazy stuff, you don't want to be having the controller as a barrier to your immersion in the game. And that's usually one of the things, well, I can't say that for the most recent generation, but growing up, that was what really attracted me to Nintendo, was the deep integration between the controls and the game itself and my thoughts. So I would process an intention, I would input a control, and the character would respond exactly according to my expectation. But Breath of the Wild was not like that. There is a learning curve. I accept that that's okay, but I don't... It is an immediate turnoff. Where I picked up Skyward Sword, which is a game where you waggle the Wii remote, and I was instantly doing it. In Twilight Princess, I was instantly doing it. I didn't really need to be taught how to use the controller. But this one, every single time I tried to do an attack, I pushed the wrong button. Every single time I tried to jump, I pushed the wrong button. I really feel like you can have half of your thumb holding down one, and then you can still manage to push the other one. So that really bugged me. It could be for nothing, because it could get remapped, or you could have the ability to control it yourself, and I don't really know how it's going to operate on the Switch, but that doesn't matter because to me, because I'm going to be doing it on the Wii U. But that's besides the point. I am going to buy it. If the controls are clunky, I am going to suffer through them. I am going to acclimate, and I will learn how to do it. My feelings about the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I have reached a point of excitement. I'm super pumped. I think it looks super awesome. I'm very excited to delve into this world and try to figure out what's going on and explore these dungeons. Well, I said dungeons, but really there's no evidence of dungeons at this point. I just want to explore this world, see what's going on. And another thing about the E3 demo that makes it hard to not feel like you're wasting your time is that every investment that you make and every discovery that you make is fruitless, because at the end of 20 minutes you're leaving. But at home it's a different thing, because you go and you explore some little nook and cranny of this vast wilderness, and you're making an investment in your progress in this game. So it's a lot more meaningful. Oh, you know what? I don't know how many people, everybody I know, all of my friends that are Nintendo faithful are going to be playing it on the Switch. I'm the only person I know who's playing it on the Wii U. So let me know, how are you planning on playing this game? If you are going to play it on the Switch, it's going to be your day one Switch premiere purchase, then I want to know. If you're going to hold out a little bit longer as I am and pick it up on the Wii U, let me know. Or does it not have any appeal to you? That'd surprise me, but if you're out there, let me know why. Now let's move on to Fire Emblem Heroes. You know I'm not a Fire Emblem player. I've never played a Fire Emblem game before. My only experience with these characters is Smash Brothers. And I gotta say, Fire Emblem Heroes, I only played it like today and yesterday, but I really like it. It reminds me of an old iPhone app that I used to play called Hero Academy, where you're basically doing the same thing. You have a grid and you need to move your side to defeat all the characters on the other team's side. But this Fire Emblem one is really fun. Is that what an actual Fire Emblem game is like? This moves really fast, and these battles are super short. And I like the weapons triangle. I like trying to strategically figure out how to eliminate my opponents without letting them eliminate me. It's like epic chess. So have I been missing out? Are the Fire Emblem games like this? Or are they, as I imagine, a grindy, long-form RPG? Because that I don't have any time for. But if they're anything like this Fire Emblem Heroes game, I'm interested. That seems like it could be a lot of fun. So let me know. Are you playing this game? Do you like it? I haven't spent any money on it yet, but I haven't really had any reason to. I'm liking the characters that they gave me. I don't know who any of them are. I've never seen any of them before because they didn't give me any of the ones that I would recognize from Smash. So it's fun. I'm just starting to remember their names, but I don't remember them well enough to try to recount them right now. Oh, Alphonse. I have Alphonse. I have his sister. I have the emo archer, and I have the red-headed axe wielder girl. So that's the extent of my Fire Emblem knowledge. The other thing I want to mention with Fire Emblem is Fire Emblem Warriors. It's a Team Ninja game from Koei Tecmo that is like their Dynasty Warriors games, like Hyrule Warriors, only instead of featuring their own original characters or the Legend of Zelda themed characters, it's Fire Emblem characters. And I was really excited for this because I've had no impetus to play these Fire Emblem games because I have the perception that they are very slow moving games that take a long time to really get into. But Hyrule Warriors and Dynasty Warriors is not like that. They're super fast paced, and it gave me it's promising to give me the opportunity to experience a little bit of Fire Emblem story and to interact with these Fire Emblem characters outside of the context of Smash Brothers in a way that would be a ton of fun to me. I love sword fighting and going around and owning all the bad guys, so this game really appeals to me. But I was a little bit surprised by it. I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming, but I was completely blindsided by Hyrule Warriors, and it made me think about my dream game. And I'm really curious about your dream game too. I'll start by saying my dream game has been made twice. When I was a little kid, I grew up on Mario and Zelda and all of those other franchise Nintendo characters, Donkey Kong, and my dream was that I could play Mortal Kombat with all of those characters. I just wanted Mario and Link to go at it and beat each other up, and Donkey Kong be pummeling Samus in the face, and Pikachu being electro-zapping everybody, and it happened, and it blew my mind. I had become aware of the original Smash Brothers for N64 long before it released, and at the time, it wasn't even for sure that it was going to come to the West, and it was a super quiet launch where Nintendo almost like underground barely even promoted it when it first started, and I was so happy to get that game and experience that game, and it was everything that I ever dreamed it would be. And of course, each subsequent version I've continued to support and I've continued to love, and I thought it was the greatest game of all time, and it really was wish fulfillment, dream fulfillment. And then a little game called Hyrule Warriors was announced, and my mind was blown. My favorite aspect of all the Legend of Zelda games is the sword fighting, and this distills the action of the Zelda combat into just the most heightened element, the most action-packed portion of the combat. Not only that, you get to play as everybody. So I've talked at length in Me Time and in other places about my deep love affair with Hyrule Warriors and Hyrule Warriors Legends, but all this to say, it was a dream come true. It was a game that I never thought I could have, and yet it came into existence, and I love it. So now, I've got a new dream game, and I didn't think about it until Fire Emblem Heroes was announced. Fire Emblem Warriors was announced. I'm going to mix those up a lot. Okay, now here's my new dream game. Now I have no ambition that this is ever going to come to fruition, but I also had no reason to think that Smash Brothers would ever be made, and I certainly had no reason to think that Hyrule Warriors would ever be made, so I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it out in the world. My new dream game that I cannot wait to play, well, rather, I would love to play, is Smash Brothers Warriors, or Nintendo Warriors, where we have a roster kind of similar to Smash Brothers, only it is a Dynasty Warriors style beat 'em up adventure where I could just run through these cool maps and beat up all these bad guys. I think it would be awesome. I would love to take Little Mac and bring him into Hyrule Warriors and just like start punching bad guys out. That would be so cool, and especially even more cool if there was some way how these things could be strung together with some loose plot, kind of like Subspace Emissary, where you just create some premise that would allow for these characters to all exist in the same place at the same time. And I don't care if it's some kid's toy box. I don't care if these are all toys, like amiibo that come to life and you get to control them and play them in the game. That would be awesome. It would be so amazing. Now, I'm not talking like a Skylanders type adventure where you scan an amiibo in and it populates the game with that character, although that would be cool. I really want it to be something more pretty much exactly like Hyrule Warriors, only instead of just being limited to Legend of Zelda characters, we have characters that span all the different Nintendo franchises. That would be so amazing. So let me know, is that a game that you'd be interested in playing? Would you want to play this brainchild of mine? Who knows? It might actually already be in the works. I'm getting so excited just thinking about this made-up game that will never happen that I can't even talk. So that's all I got. I want to know about your dream game. Tell me how it would work. Who would you play as? What world would it take place in? How would it control? I'm really curious because sometimes these things happen. And sometimes if you just put it out there, then I think it kind of encourages the universe to conspire in your favor. So let's join forces. I've told you my dream game. Let's just spread this hopeful, wishful thinking, and you ponder my game, I'll ponder your game, and maybe somehow through the power of osmosis, Nintendo will absorb these and wake up someday with this feeling of, I need to make Smash Brothers Heroes. It would be so awesome. Okay, I could ramble on about this forever, but I'm going to try to keep this episode a little bit shorter for you. Thanks for tuning in and spending your time with me, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks for playing.